community leader that gets things done. I've been involved in my community for many, many years. I'll go back a little bit in time. I was raised here in Richmond since I was a kid. I was brought to the United States when I was 8 years old. I did not speak any English. Jumping around a few years later, I come out. I get kicked out from my family's home and my whole family. I picked myself back up. I purchased my home when I was 22 years old. And since then, I became the president of my HOA. From there, working alongside another neighboring HOA, we created the Hilltop District Homeowners and Stakeholders Association, which is an association that I think it's unique, where we bring the homeowners and the businesses in the largest business district in the city, Hilltop. We bring them all together to be able to deal with our issues, to have a conversation, but most importantly, to be able to deal and manage the $1 million budget we have up there for the Landscape Maintenance District. You all have one here as well. The City of Richmond has 2 special districts. Hilltop was created first. You guys were created second because you guys wanted it. We were pushed into it. You guys have $500,000, and that's sort of how I started to get to know your community. With our community getting together, trying to figure out where our money was going. And then we came together a few years ago to get a new company to help manage the funds. I stayed involved, and that sort of gave me a little bit of insight into the budget process. If we have $1 million and we don't know where it's at, we can't figure out how it's being used. What's happening with the rest of the city? We were able to figure out to go from paper timesheets into electronic timesheets for our employees. I say our employees, those in the landscape district at Hilltop. We were able to figure out that we were spending over $80,000 in commute time, going from Hilltop to downtown to pick up their tools, only to go back up and then work, only to stop a few hours before the day is over so they can pack up and come back down and come back up. At that time, they were saying, we need to make cuts. We need to cut one person. Well, through that electronic system, we were able to figure out $80,000. We saved one person, and we were able to save over $70,000 from there. Now we spend $10,000 in a courtyard at Hilltop. Right? It shouldn't be a weird idea or out-of-the-box idea. It should be common sense, but sometimes we don't always have it. So we need someone to be able to look at things, ways that they haven't been looked at before. There was a park at Hilltop. It took 17 years to build. They brought rock by rock by rock. We had to figure out after the community said, what is this big old dirt pile on the corner of Richmond Parkway and San Pablo Avenue? It took me calling the developer at that time, and the receptionist was so glad. She was like, oh my God, I remember this project like it was yesterday. She emailed me copies of faxes, this is how long ago it was, of conversations, and you can see where the ball was dropped. We helped pick it up. We now have a park up there. And not only do we have a park, but we build community there. During the holiday time, we get together and we put holiday lights around over 50 trees that we planted there. One time there was a person from across the bay who was there eating. I guess she was commuting. She comes over, and she says, Cesar, what's going on? Because we had a lot of police officers there. And I'm like, we're putting holiday lights up. She's like, did somebody get murdered? I'm like, no, we're putting holiday lights up. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes. She's like, why? I'm like, because it's the holidays and it's what we do. She's like, but the cops are here. I'm like, they're part of our community. Right? So for her, it was Richmond and it was scary. So we have to change. The question is, what is one of the biggest problems facing Richmond? Nobody wants to come to Richmond because they're afraid. The investors, I was very involved with the mall development. We're trying to bring in a new investor. I talked to one of the investors, and I said, come to Richmond. They said, no. We don't drive through Richmond. We don't stop in Richmond. We don't do anything in Richmond. I said, perfect. Let's have coffee in Richmond. I am persistent. I am known by some as very pushy. I had her translated. I am persistent. I do not take no for an answer. If you tell me no, I translate it differently. It is not N-O. It is K-N-O-W. You do not know enough about our community to want to come into it and be able to invest and give us the opportunities that our community needs. We are the diamond in the rough. We have to be able to pick ourselves up. We must think outside the box. We must think together as a community. And again, being able to go from paper to electronic should not be a thing of 2018, right? We should have done this years ago. We have to see where our money is going. The mall did a study. We have about $6 billion not stopping in Richmond. That is both us who live here and people that travel through Highway 80, Highway 580, Highway 4. Imagine, as Renee was saying, if we just get a little bit of that. How much beautiful can our city be? Thank you so much. I hope I'll be able to earn your vote.